Good morning, and welcome to FYI. It's Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. Welcome. I'm Amanza, and of course, I'm here with my co-host, Miss Jaretta Fernandez, MP.
Good morning.
And we are in the house this morning.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to FYI. It's going to be quite an interesting conversation this morning, as always. Every morning I come on, it's going to be an interesting conversation. That we always have a lot of information.
Oh, we're interesting people.
Mm-hmm. I missed you yesterday, all of you wonderful people. Siobhan, no worries. Siobhan came on very early this morning and said that it is raining in New Jersey. So Siobhan, I hope you keep it nice and warm. Walk with your umbrella wherever you go and make sure you're safe on the roadways and all of those things. We have a lot to discuss. But we're going to start ball off very early this morning by saying all of you there in the comment section, like myself, who had a child right in CSEC and received those results yesterday. I hope that all is well. If we have a little bit of fall short here and there, probably not as well as you wanted it to be. If any subjects need to be redone, now is the time to get it done right away off the back foot. Don't wait a year. If any of you out there have a child that wrote the CSEC exam and they fall short by a subject or two, make sure that you sign them up when it's fresh still to make sure that they keep going, keep that energy going.
Absolutely.
I'm super proud of my daughter. She wrote 9 subjects and she got all 9 those subjects. So guess what? She's off to University of Guyana. We wasting no time.
Absolutely. And so congratulations, Delia, and Jaretta is such a proud mommy this morning. Her beaming. I understand how that feels.
It's the anxiety that the children have. I don't know if it transfers to you, the parent.
Of course, of course.
But we were waiting forever to actually get online yesterday. I don't know what was going on. We got online super late and all of that to check the results and so. But at the end of it was all good.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
The child's an English student. Who would have known? Who would have told me?
And hey, thankfully my boys do not inherit my math brain. So we have to thank God for these small mercies.
I'm telling you. My dad's an English student. I'm shocked.
It's incredible. No, that's incredible. I am so happy. I'm so happy for you. Mm-hmm. And, congratulations to all of our students. I'm sure we're going to go into it some more, but 27 subjects.
Oh, wow. First of all, I did not know there was a school in this country that offered 27 subjects. So I have to
clearly arms those.
Mm-hmm. Kudos to the Anna Regina Multilateral Secondary School there. Kudos to the teachers there. I know that was a lot of hard work pushing in. And of course to the students. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Now we're going to get into a bit of that a little later on in the program, but we had to start. That's the biggest thing today.
Absolutely,
so we have to start off like that.
Yeah. Students, our children are so excited. And it makes us remember our time. I mean, we didn't have 27 subjects, but I managed 8. That was the most I could do at that time.
What the school offered me. That's what I took. So,
we're showing the age a little bit.
We're showing that I'm old.
But, the children are so excited, and, it's such a joy to see them grow, and we get very mushy.
Yeah.
My son wrote, I think it was the year before the last. Mm-hmm. And then there's one that's going to write next year. So
look at you. As Sherrod told me, Sherrod said, well, when your child writes CXC now, and you might as well start preparing your rocking chair.
I rebuke Sherrod.
Guys, listen, good morning to all of you wonderful folks. Let me know where you're joining from this morning. Help it to celebrate with us an achievement of the children of this wonderful country of ours. Ingrid Crawford, good morning to you. I see this. Chris Kippins is in this morning. Good morning to you, Chris. Beatrice, hey, Beatrice, how are you doing? I hope all is well at your end. And Siobhan McCallum.
Hey, Siobhan, good morning. Sean Carter.
London
is in the house. How you doing, London? It's afternoon in London. I think they're like 6 hours ahead of us.
It's 5. It's 5.
Right?
I think it's 5.
I'm not sure.
I think it's 5.
Ayabo says, good afternoon. Mr. Chisel Chipper says, it's rainy day in Queens.
Yep.
And as you
Education
know,
month.
September is Education Month.
There it is, guys.
Yep.
Education month. I miss those stack of books and the whole setup there right away.
Yes, education. And then I think on the 8th, the Ministry of Education has a Drop Everything and Read campaign.
Yeah.
So we're going to be promoting literacy and reading, which I think is a very, very good initiative.
Amanda, when it comes to that, to this month, and there you have it again, I was just about to say, this month is Education Month. This month is also Heritage Month as well. So we have a lot to celebrate in September. September is a big month, guys. Come on. We have a lot going on.
And I've been following the pageant and, the young ladies and all of the...
Region 7, don't worry. Region 7. Don't worry. Region 7 on top of things. Indigenous pageant.
So apparently Region 7. So no, let me say nothing more. All I was going to say is that I was following all of the activities. I love how, I love that it's just not a beauty pageant, but it's, it spans the gamut of activities. I see them, making traditional foods and so on. So really, really, really good. And, I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I think the organizers, kudos to the organizers.
Kudos to them. Kudos to them. The Kwan is also reminding us that this is the month of the Henry Boys.
Oh, yes.
And it's actually today. And it's been 2 years.
No stones left unturned. I think that's what was said.
Those two young men. I get chills just remembering it, man. And, 2 years later, the family feels as if justice continues to elude them. But we have a president who said no stone will be left unturned. Clearly, most stones have been left unturned. And it has to be a frustrating thing when, as Guyanese, you feel that there's no justice for you in your own homeland, But our thoughts and prayers are with the Henry Boys family this morning. I know it has to be a day that opens a lot of wounds, And I think there's some activities planned for today. Yeah. Actually, there's going to be an activity at number 5 on the west coast of Berbice this afternoon. So, those of you who want to check it out, I think it'll be live streamed on most of the opposition pages as we remember and vow never to allow to happen again what happened to those two boys.
It's very sad, very sad. But guys, we have to keep advocating so that justice would be served to the families of so many, just not just the Henry Boys, but so many other crimes in this country, and Sherrod makes it his duty to go. Right there behind that, Sherrod makes it his duty to keep track of these things. I think he does it in such a uniform manner. So people, we tend to forget as a people very quickly, and things kind of overtake those activities. It's good to remember. Least we forget.
Oh my gosh.
Lest we forget, right? It's crazy. But guys, as we continue this morning's discussion, one of the things I did want to mention before we get in, I know it's Education Month and all of that. One of the things I did want to mention, and I'm going to just throw it in right here, is the fact that there's a new curriculum at the schools, and one to my liking. I have to say that one to my liking. I have been at pains as a parent from the time my daughter's my first child is now out of secondary school.
Right.
From the time she started off at the primary school level, I will have been at pains when it comes to the manner in which we teach in the school system in Guyana. And I keep speaking about it at the local levels, and so to the teachers, education officers, and so we have to step away from this. You go to the board, you write things on the board, you turn copying in the books, you send them home. The learning process have to be revolutionized.
Absolutely.
And important to me also, and then my own daughter, now that I have a grade 2 daughter, she came home, she said, teacher said to us that we wouldn't be writing as much anymore. We would be talking more and having conversations more. And this is something that I have to. I've been waiting. I've been talking about this, and it's something that's what we need. We need to have. We need to have a learning environment that is not copy what's on the board and regurgitate at the end of the term word for word.
because being able to speak and to discuss, you retain more.
Yeah.
The science shows that what you speak, you retain for far longer periods than what you
Correct.
write. So to see that they've refreshed the curriculum to deliver a more conversational based curriculum is really, really very good.
It is.
Even refreshed, we are still behind, but I'm happy that we are at least making an effort to catch up. And we were talking last week about introducing elements of emotional intelligence into the curriculum, teaching our children to be a little more empathetic and learn empathy and how to deal with their classmates. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Congratulations to the hardworking folks. I know this is something that has been in the pipeline for years and years and years, and so happy to see that it's finally come through, and our children will definitely be better off for it. What we can do now with some of that oil money is to make sure that every classroom in Guyana is a smart classroom. I know, for example, in some Caribbean islands, children actually each have a tablet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's something that I would strongly encourage the Ministry of Education to look into. Having each child equipped with a tablet.
I think we need to have more balanced curriculum too, guys. I mean, my last point before we go into the morning papers when it comes to the education system, I think that we need to have a more balanced, we need to have balance when it comes to academic and co-curricular, extracurricular activities.
Absolutely.
There are too many schools in Guyana right now that don't have, when it comes to sports within the school system. A lot of them have, on Fridays you should wear sports uniform, but you just wear it to go and sit in the classroom because there's no feel that is proper and all of that. When it comes to having those facilities, I mean, like we're saying all the time, we have the money now. We have to invest in it. We have to make sure that when your children leave the house, they're going to well put together school facilities. Right?
Absolutely. So we can do this. We can do this. What it calls for is a government that's interested in the equitable development, that we invest in schools, particularly in those schools where the inner city, as we call them, a lot of inner city children attend. One of the things that I was looking at is homework and homework assistance. And I was reading something on Education Month, and it occurred to me that in those households where parents may not have a certain level of literacy, there's a cycle that's being perpetuated because the children are put at an automatic disadvantage, because when they go home, who helps them with homework? So there's so much to be done for our children. I really think that education and the development of our children does not need to be a matter that's politicized. It is one of the best fields for a bipartisan approach.
Correct.
But you have to have a minister that is going to be willing to reach across the aisle.
Correct. Yeah. These are things that we definitely, I when it comes to education, matters of education, health, I mean, I've been at health constantly because people's lives are at stake, literally, when it comes to that. But those are things that we need to very much collectively look at.
Absolutely.
All hands on deck. We have so much, and we need to expand. And we're not going to get far as a country if we don't have a smart population. So we need to have a very smart population.
Precisely. And then, of course, we've got to have the ability to agree on some non-negotiables. We have to have the ability to agree on projects and programs that are, how do we put it, national interest projects and programs. So it doesn't matter which government comes in. It's not something that is interrupted. Because, this build and break every 5 years. We have to get away from it. We have to be able to get away from it. We can't do this every 5 years. So,
Impossible. Well, guys, let's move forward. Let's go into the morning papers before we come back, because we still have a bit of discussion to do when it comes to the education and the results all together.
And before we do that, remember,
share. Come on, do your part. Wardell Garner.
I see over 500 of you tuned in live. So if each of you share, I won't tell you the numbers, me and the maths, but it can come to somewhere over 1,000. So remember to share the live and press those emoji buttons.
Goodness. Some people in the comment section brawling early morning. Guys, it's not even 8:30 yet. Come on, behave yourself. It's can't be brawling so early in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, you can't wake up miserable.
Girl, some people manage
How does that work?
Some people manage to wake up miserable. You know, Shirley's asking where is Sherrod. Sherrod is around, but it's Tuesday.
Come
you
on,
know,
guys.
we have to give him
on.
a rest, guys. Come on. He's human, and you know.
Don't worry.
He'll be back at noon.
Share the stream. If Sherrod sees, Sherrod is gonna come.
You know, you can come out. You know, you can't help yourself.
Good.
But he's around.
All right, so as we go into the morning papers, we have to touch on a bit of what we've been discussing for some time when it comes to gender-based violence. And there's a lot circulating right about now in the media as to particular crimes that were committed years ago. The confessions are being made to now. So these are things that we have to keep speaking out about it, and we don't want there's a lot to gather from this bit right here. The first one we're going to look at is Perica farmer admits to killing wife, and associated farmer garnished Dan Raj, who in 2017 strangled his wife, is now awaiting sentencing after admitting to killing the woman. 2017, he strangled his wife. You know, this would have been circulating in the media back then. You know, there was no admission of guilt back then. Always people say, no, it wasn't them, all of that and all of that. Today, we're hearing a different story. It says here that Dan Raj pleaded not guilty to a charge of murder when it was read to him yesterday. Let me just say this, read that again. When it was read to him yesterday morning at the High Court there in Demerara, but pleaded to the lesser charge of manslaughter. Well, this is a man's field. I'm not going to attempt to get into it, right? He accepted that he unlawfully killed his reputed wife, and her name was Danwati Ram, called Sister, on April 5th, 2007 at the Perica East Bank Essequibo home. What's going on there?
I don't know. But to come to say 4 years later that, you know, you did it, I don't know. I have no explanation for it.
5 years later,
Yeah, because it's when?
2017.
There you go. So
5 years later. But then that one is 5 years later. But as we even move forward in the morning papers, Melanie man pleaded guilty to killing wife and burying her on unfinished bathroom. Guys, this one is a little different when it comes to the time span.
It's quite bizarre.
10 years after killing his wife and burying her in an unfinished bathroom at their Melanie Northeast Coast Demerara home, Gordon Leslie Durant has admitted to the crime and is now awaiting sentencing. Right? At his arraignment before the High Court in Demerara yesterday morning, the now 80-year-old man admitted that it was he who had killed his wife. 8 years old, so he was 70 years. This is 10 years ago, guys. 10 years ago, this happened in 2020, right? He was originally indicted for the murder. He, however, pleaded not guilty to the capital charge, but guilty to manslaughter again. Right? He accepted that between June 26th and the 28th of 2012, he unlawfully killed 50-year-old Joanne Durant. 50 years old. She is 50. He is 70. 10 years ago. You were in 10 years after a crime, you are yet to be charged.
You're yet to be sentenced or tried. Sorry,
or tried. How is it? Amanda, is your field.
You know, but you see, it comes back to the issue
on remand,
we're talking about having a speedy trial. It goes against in their case law to suggest that the right to a fair and speedy trial is a constitutional right. We have a massive backlog of cases in our courts, and it's something that has to be tackled, whether by the appointment of more judges and magistrates. It's something that has to be done. The sloth in our legal system is ridiculous, and I can only point to what happened in Kenya the other day. Kenya had elections. Within 2 weeks, Kenya's elections petition was heard, determined, and the government legitimized. And that is what law in a functioning democracy looks like.
Yes.
So that you don't have a government in power with the label of illegitimacy or installed over its head. You hear it, you determine it, and the country gets to move on. The opposition leader said he doesn't agree, but he accepts.
Yeah, because an independent audit of the election was done.
An independent audit of the election was done. And what you saw is that the court said, look, we are going to hear this on the merits.
Correct.
So we're not going to try to look at procedural issues to say we will not hear it, but we will hear it on the merits. And they heard it on the merits. They give very strict timelines. By this date, you will submit this. By that date, you will submit that.
Yeah.
And the court delivered its decision.
I didn't hear any technicalities or anything like that.
They didn't.
I didn't hear them.
They went to hear it on the
Yep.
merits. And so we really can look to Kenya to see how elections petitions should be handled. It goes to the very question of legitimacy of the government, and so it has to be handled expeditiously.
Yeah, but the sluggishness in our court, and that's what we're discussing right now, guys. The sluggishness in our court system needs to be dealt with. And when it comes to persons being on remand, I'm a strong believer that we need to have a timeline in law that somebody cannot be in remand past a particular time, because this is a man on remand for 10 years.
In UK, I think it's 6 months.
Yes, it's some places it's 6 months, some places it's 9 months. What are we doing? 10 years on remand? What is that?
And this is what leads to prison overcrowding. But Joetta, these are the issues that go to the heart of whether we are a civilized nation or not, whether we are a nation of laws or not. Yeah. And these are hard conversations to have because our criminal justice system is failing to the extent that an accused cannot get a speedy trial. It depends on who the accused is, mind you, because some accused trials are made sure that it goes through immediately, and then some they lug their feet. And God forbid if you are a poor Guyanese and you may not be able to afford an attorney. Like
the Amerindian man that we spoke of a couple of weeks ago, right? That was crazy. And guys, listen, these two cases that we're talking about here, one person, this one is 5 years old, the next one is 10 years old. Those persons, one being on remand from 2017 to now, the next one from 2012 to now. Those persons actually pleaded guilty, but I want you to look at the other side of that. How many persons are actually on remand for years that are innocent? Right, because being on remand, you haven't been afforded a trial, like Amanda is saying, as yet, and all of that. So there are actually innocent persons in there on remand, right? And you are innocent. You are presumed innocent until found guilty.
There you go.
That's how it should be. So we have to do better. And I think that the very fact that the system is like that causes persons to drag their foot on it. But if there were timelines, structured timelines in place as to how long someone could be held on remand, then you would see people would giddy up, as we say here, and get the work done.
And the police would move along their investigations with a little more alacrity. The DPP would, give their advice with a little more speed. So there has to be so much more done to improve the justice system. But like Joetta said, we will continue to advocate. We will continue to bring these matters to the fore and to be able to share this information with you, because an informed nation, an informed population makes informed decisions.
That is correct. But as we move forward, guys, what's going on at the National Library? Well, Rams is saying, your boy Ram, Christopher Ram there, Ram is saying he's urging the government rather to increase the subvention to the National Library. And he says that while handing over a check of $700,000 there that he's given over at the National Library, guys, just to give you an idea of the subvention that he's asking for to be increased there. The National Library subvention, let me just be very, very correct with my notation there. I'm going to go straight to my budget. Okay, so the National Library subvention for 2021 was actually $260,500,000 to the National Library. For 2022, the allocation there for the subvention is $271,406,000 there to the National Library. Christopher Ram is saying that that's not enough,
right? And
they need more money. So I definitely, when it comes to the operational, how the library operates, I know that there are lots of extension arms of the library throughout throughout the country. So because of that, I don't have a clear picture as to what their expenses look like on a monthly basis and those things. But guess what? The budgeting process allow for them to budget for whatever they need.
Right.
So it would be the ministry with the responsibility that would have to cut back on that budget.
And it will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see what they have put up for and what was finally approved.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's a statutory body. Let's just get to that point. That's a statutory body and all of that. And you know how the coalition wanted to treat with that, how they treated with such bodies. They wanted them to do their stuff separately and bring it separately. But the PFB administration wants those things to be observed within the budget, the general budget. So there's a lot. And I hear Christopher Rammer loud and clear. There anything concerning education, you have my vote on that.
Yes,
and that's what I can say when it comes to spending money behind education. I think the library needs to be completely modernized.
I fully agree.
I think the library needs to be modernized. It needs to be attractive to young people.
Precisely. Yes. When you go to places like the Brooklyn Library, you see just the wealth of information that's available there.
Yeah.
The archiving. Yeah. It's really, really, it's really painful that we are so far behind. And again, we have a population of just about 750,000 persons. Our school age population, 200 and something thousand, if that much. And so we can, if we want, if there's the political will, improve these facilities.
Yeah.
How is the National Library using IT?
Yeah.
How are they leveraging the information age? Because for me, when we were in high school, the library was it.
Yeah.
You literally had to go to the library, get the books, and go through
them. The library, listen, when you're thinking forward, you have to understand that you, in order to make it, in order for young people to want to go there, you have to have an environment that they feel comfortable in 2022. 10 years from now, would you still be able to, you don't have the same population to deal with, first of all, when it comes to the internal migration and all of those things. So the library as is, you definitely will need a whole bigger space. You need to make it, you need to make education attractive.
Precisely.
Right?
Precisely. So it's not, I like that.
Yeah.
How do you make education
It's education month.
attractive? Yes.
Make education attractive.
Make education attractive. How do you do that? How do you, and I think a large part of it as well has to be to provide a space for cultural expression, for extracurricular activities, for creativity.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think our schools have to be able to do is to identify and harness the creatives.
Yeah.
That is such an important demographic in our schools. There are students who may not do the best in terms of academics, but they're creative when it comes to writing, singing, even athletics.
Correct.
So we have to be able to have an education system that identifies our children and their giftings early, and we're able to have programs that will nurture that. So we have a long way to go. Long way to go.
I know we're in the middle of the discussion about the National Library and education, and I see a girl Lacho came on and talking about Mingo. I don't know what's going on.
Lacho.
I don't know if we got something going on between Lacho and Mingo. Dog Mingo is a married man. I don't know what's going on there, but Mingo and Lacho mine.
Yeah, but you have to be a special kind of
my goodness.
Person to come on to a discussion that is seeking to edify, to come
and
with
this is what we're talking
matters.
about. We literally just said when it comes to education, we need to have a bipartisan approach to dealing with any matter concerning education. So, these are the discussions that needs to be heard.
Yeah.
But guys, let's go into what's brewing.
The morning brew.
What's brewing, and you know how we started brew. We started new from the international front, and then we bring it home. We started national, we come regional, then we come home, right? That's how we do it. So let us start directly there on the international scene to see what is going on there, Chile, Amanza, I don't know what's going on there, but it says Chile overwhelmingly, that word there, rejects the progressive new constitution. What's going on there? I'm kind of
It's very interesting.
I'd
love to understand the reasons why they are going down this road. What is it saying? Tell us.
Well, exactly, because as we're seeing right about now, it says that while nearly 80% of Chileans voted to draft a new constitution in 2020, nearly 62% of voters rejected the new text, with 99.74% of ballots of ballot boxes counted. What is going on there? Clearly, they're saying that they need a new constitution, because they're saying in 2020, over 80%, or actually they said nearly 80% agreed that they want a new constitution. But then when a new constitution is presented, nearly 62% of them rejected this new text.
Yeah, and this is something we're going to have to delve into a little more, because I think what you're seeing there is the tension between wanting to progress, but then how do you introduce change? In terms of change management is a whole thing,
Yeah.
And so if you're going too fast, too quick, it tends to evoke a certain reaction in us as human beings. So the people might be saying, "Yeah, we want to go fast, but not so fast."
No, but I'm not seeing a bit of information here that I'm looking for, right? So guys, I think I'm going to bring back this conversation in the morning. But I'm saying that the bit of information that I'm definitely looking for, because I'm seeing here, they say nearly 62% of voters rejected the new text, with 99.74% of the ballot boxes counted. But that doesn't say how many turned out to the polls to vote on this bill, because this number could represent 50% or less of the actual population.
So how much of the population?
I need to know that.
How much of the population turned out to vote?
That's actually not stated in a bit of reporting that I'm taking this from right about now. But that is very, very important for us to look at. But it brings up the conversation about our own system when it comes to constitutional reform and what direction we are moving, because Chile is clearly moving, right?
And
Chile is clearly moving.
This is true. And look, when it comes to constitutional reform and Guyana, I always say that the need for constitutional reform must never be used as an excuse not to observe the Constitution as it is in full right now as it is. And what you're seeing right now is that Anil Nandlal, the AG, and we agree that there's need for constitutional reform, but observe the provisions that are already there. So you have a number of constitutional bodies that have not yet been convened.
Yeah.
You have the government controlling the budget of these agencies. So if we are to observe what is already there, Article 13 and inclusionary democracy, we would actually see some significant improvement. But they don't observe it, and they use the excuse of constitutional reform, and they need to reform the Constitution. Yes, there is need, but until such a time, let us observe faithfully the ones that we have, the provisions that we do have. So, and again, these are interesting conversations that we are going to have, because they go to the foundation of this nation. Issues of electoral reform are big issues. I mean, we have got to be literally fighting and screaming for a new voters list.
That is true.
It is inconceivable to me that we cannot, as a whole nation, agree that, you know what, we need a new clean list. How is that an issue for debate?
Yeah.
When a clean list is central to the whole notion of electoral democracy. How do we reconcile those two things? So
that is correct.
It's a big discussion that we're gonna have.
But guys, just to get back to exactly what the bits of information that I was looking for, and here it is. It says nearly 13 million of 15 million Chileans and residents who were eligible to vote cast ballots across more than 3,000 voting centers. So here it is. This is a good
turnout of the population
representation of what the people want and what the people don't want. 15 million eligible to cast a ballot, nearly 13 million actually going out and casting that ballot.
That's a good turnout.
It says a lot, but it says that there are other aspects of the Constitution that they want addressed, that they're not seeing being addressed there, and that persons are going around other matters. And this is the fact that we're looking at right now. So they're going to move forward. We're going to move forward on this, but we're definitely going to continue to look at this because definitely they voted that they want a new constitution. So that process, we're expecting that it's going to be continuing.
But you know what? It's a good indication before we move on that their system is working. That their system is working.
Yes.
The people called for a new constitution. One has been produced. We don't like it. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board.
Correct.
That is the sign of a working democracy and government, really.
And as we come to the region, guys, Trinidad murder toll hits 400. This is wow. It says the 2022 murder toll has reached 200 and climbing because today is the 6th of September, and for 2022 the murder toll has reached 400 and climbing there in Trinidad. So that is something for all of us to worry about. This is a regional matter, and we have tons of friends, family, everybody. We're so integrated that everybody in Guyana knows somebody in Trinidad. Somebody. So this is something that we need to be looking at. We have been touching in so very often on the crime level in Trinidad there. So we need to, it needs to be dealt with severely.
It needs to be dealt with. And because, look, one of the things that people must understand about crime and criminal activity is that there is something called transboundary, transborder crime. And so when you see a state next to yours having these issues, you have to pay attention, which is why it is of paramount importance that the police force in Guyana be equipped and be able to withstand all of these allegations of corruption that's currently being leveled at it. You have key officers in the police force subject to some allegations. If we do not take care of these things now, it will come back to bite us later. Because as we say on the show all the time, money is an amplifier. And as this more money comes into this nation, it will just exacerbate the problems that are there. So if you have a rotten police force and you throw money on that, criminal activity increases, you are setting Guyanese up for a fall, which is why, Joretta, it's very, very important that we as a nation have the ability to say, irrespective of what side of the political divide you are, that some things are a non-negotiable. A professional police force is a non-negotiable. But alas, we reach to a point where sometimes we defend just the indefensible, holding a party line or defending a particular leader, and it's ridiculous.
But this toll, and I want to mention this when it comes to the stats, because the details that we have here on the stats coming out of Trinidad is that last year at this time, 254 people had been murdered. So when given the statistics, they give it as against the same time period the year before. So from January to September last year, it was 254. But this year, and it says here that also the murder toll crossed 400 last year. It reached 400 in November. But this year now, the time frame that we're looking at here from January to September, it's already there. It's already at 400. It says a lot, and there's a lot of talking conversations that I've been following on different platforms there of people coming out that lives in Trinidad that speaks about gang violence and all of those things, and it's very, very serious. And this is something that definitely, and that's why we continue in Guyana to speak about the way in which things are going. We continue to say that we don't want to get into those situations. Young people,
you don't want to. You do not want to. This. I mean, the murder rate has doubled.
Yes,
in the same period, and so it's cause for concern.
You don't even want to think about what a year is closing off with. What is year is closing off with? There is absolutely crazy.
Yep.
But
guys, happening?
That's what's going on there. Let's move into what is locally. And locally, we started off the conversation this morning on education. It's Education Month. It's Education Month, so we're going to be heavily discussing things as it pertains to education as well as heritage. So we're going to be balancing the conversation. There you have it. oh my goodness, there you have it, young men at the top, shining bright stars, energizing the multilateral
I am so
boys.
happy to see this. I am so happy to see this. The stats show that the girls tend to outshine. Well, not outshine, but in terms of the achievement, they tend to achieve a little higher than the boys. That's not my position. It's the stats. So don't come for me this morning. So it is so good to see that the boys are rising to the occasion. Anna Regina Multilateral boys outshine the competition at CSEC. Very, very, look, I salute them with both hands. 27 subjects.
Oh, goodness. And it's 27, 25.
27 subjects and 25 subjects. Amazing, amazing.
And the guys, you see their photos up there, and I just want to give you it by name too. So to your left there, you're going to be looking at Ramal Babulal there, 24 ones and 3 twos at a Regina Multilateral, flag flying high there right now. And Autumn Harilal there to your right with 24 ones and 1 2, also of Guyana Regina Multilateral Secondary School there. So I know of Region 2. Proud. It's crazy. The excitement that was in the air there yesterday. Everyone was super proud.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. I saw all the little jobs there. I saw QC people out and about on social media yesterday. It was.
Yeah, I think. Do we have a video of the announcements yesterday?
Yes,
let's go. It's such a joy to see our children.
I'm super
excelling like this.
I don't even for children.
TXC's CSEC. Tying for the most number of grade 1s would be Ramal Babulal and Utam Hirilal. So Ramal Babulal got 24 ones and 3 twos. Stand! And he's from the Anna Regina Multilateral School. Utam Hirilal got 24 ones and 1 2. And he's from the Anna Regina Multilateral School. Daniel Dowding from Anna Regina Multilateral.
There you have it.
Absolutely.
There you have it.
And it's the 3 boys. Daniel Dowding, in addition to the other 2 young men. So the young men really did well this time. I'm just so, as a mother of boys, I can't help but grin and smile. Congratulations to our children.
I don't know them. I'm super proud of them, and the work that they've put in there. I always said, guys, listen, these students did extremely well. Adding to that, again, the boys were on top of things this year,
Yes.
Girls, we got
come on, ladies. Come on. No, but congratulations,
boy, Amanza. As we go into that, QC boy is also top Cape with 14 grade 1s, 14 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. Wow.
And we want to say to all of the students, congratulations. I am always mindful that sometimes in celebrating the top achievers, we don't lose those students who persevered. Because, for example, you may have a young woman that might have had 7 grade 2s, for example. But when you check at the situation that she's come from, the issues of getting to school and the hurdles that he or she might have had to overcome, that in and of itself is such a triumph. And so I'm so mindful that we always celebrate all of our students who excel and who do well, because success is always as a function of your circumstances. So, for those who have overcome,
Kudos to you. And that's important for us to understand. Listen, guys, there are no 24 grade ones, three grade twos, no, they're phenomenal achievements and all of that. But I have to tell you, and I keep telling persons, we have to remember that once you have passed these exams, you get out there and you celebrate. Once you have passed these exams, you have opened the door for your future, that you have opportunities now to go and excel and advance your levels of studies and all of that. And no matter what, there is one University of Guyana, and I'm telling you, you're going to get into classes and you're going to sit in classes with persons with a whole lot of subjects also. Don't be pulled down, don't feel any way or anything like that.
Or discouraged.
You aim to pass all your exams. Once you pass, kudos to you. If you fall short on 1 and 2 subjects, make sure that you sign back up, write them back right now. Keep pushing forward. I am always here. You don't know how much I cheer, and I'm the cheerleader when it comes to young people just getting their academics in order and moving on. Just move on. You're gonna do good. Just stick to it.
Absolutely.
Stick to it. There's so much that you can achieve once you just hold the course.
And one of the things that we just have to reiterate is that success is always subjective. Success is subjective. It's about you, and it's about what you have had to overcome to achieve what you have achieved.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you. Let's keep it going. An educated nation is what will move this country forward.
Yep.
Taking the education, do the best that you can do. And while we are at it, these students did not achieve in a vacuum. They achieved because teachers were there. And finally, it is high time that the teachers and the public servants receive a proper salary increase. You cannot, it is hypocritical to stand and to celebrate students and not celebrate the teachers that worked with them.
Yeah.
As of yesterday, teachers had not received their uniform allowances.
Wow.
There's so many allowances outstanding. What is the problem?
A lot needs to be done in this, and we're going to keep pushing throughout Education Month. Guys, but I did mention to you that when it comes to Cape, QC Boy comes out on top of Cape. Boy again coming out on top of Cape, QC Boys, and Berbice Prasad of Queen's College again, like I just said, 14 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. And it says Berbice is one of the top performers there at the lower 6 level also. And he was also there as a top performer there at the CSEC level. So Berbice Prasad has been holding the core of the fort. He's been staying the course. He's been doing his bit since CSEC. And I'm so happy to see young people go out there. And Manza, they were like, boys. I think I have to say that. I think it was one of the I think it was one of the news sites actually announcing that the boys excel, but they put the girls photo.
Who did this? Who did this?
They were so used to the girls.
Stop with this. Do better.
I don't know what happened there, right? But first of all, they got it completely wrong because they put a girl's photo, then they put the QC girl's photo, and instead of the multi-boys photo.
Yeah, come on,
guys.
I'm not a QC person headed this thing. I can bet.
But these two young ladies did extremely well, and I have to say congratulations to them as well, coming amongst the top there. We are so proud of you two, flying the flag of women high right now for us. So we have to say that.
Yeah, girls, y'all save the day.
Save the day. Thank you. Thank you so much for saving the day, young women. We love it. Don't worry. We got that next time. Don't worry. I was there a little while ago.
Oh, so you and your feelings about the QC thing. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm from Bipartisan Secondary, to be exact. Let me tell you. No matter what school, 8 subjects of Bipartisan Secondary, I'm out here.
Oh, I hear you.
Bachelor's and masters after.
There you go.
Still here.
There you go.
So I'm just saying, guys, no matter how much, no matter where you started,
if students have the capacity to do 27 subjects,
let them do it.
Go ahead. as for me and my house, I have said to my sons, you are doing 10.
I thought to myself, listen, one of the things my daughter, I'm going to say this now because guys, I had never mentioned it before, and I'm going to mention it now because it so happens when you're in a political environment, it's just so ridiculous when it comes to your children. When it comes to my daughter and her secondary school, the difficulty, and I spoke about Northern Multilateral, the difficulty the children had after the school burned down. My daughter wrote an exam right there at Northern Multilateral. I'm going to tell you that the challenges was something that I faced firsthand, and to see teachers like Sir Delny Swave, and I have to give him a shout out, that kept encouraging those children. You're gonna do it. You're gonna get it. Keep sending them reminders and all of that. After they finished writing the last exam, CSEC, he sent a message and say, now you have to make sure you get your driver's license, or now you have to start looking at university. Now you have to start, and it is so wonderful to see these role models come out and stand the course with all the challenges that they had. No building, separating the auditorium with chalkboard, trying to just cram the children in there to do their best. But they did their part, and because of that now, because of the work they did, now my child have an opportunity to go forward and advance herself. So do well by the teachers. We have a long way to go.
I'm getting a little emotional.
Yes,
thinking about our nation's children and how how much they are depending on us to get this right. They're depending on us to get this right. And, we celebrate children. When it comes to children, that's it. That is it. We celebrate children. So to the top 3 guys, can't remember all of their names. Congratulations again to the ladies that are keeping the flag flying. Congratulations again, and I know next year we're coming for them.
We coming, don't worry.
Just saying.
Yeah, don't worry.
Y'all can have this one this year, but next year we're coming for y'all.
Yep. Guys, as we move forward, I don't know what's going on out there. One person show up with a fake certificate and everybody think they could do it.
No, but this lady is a perpetual problem. Why is she even allowed? What is going on?
Fake nursing tutor resurfaces as what? As a medical doctor. Man, so what is going on here?
I think she needs a psych evaluation. Because just like the other guy, I think that she thinks that in her heart of hearts.
Oh, good. In her heart of hearts. She's a doctor.
She's a doctor. And
but my thing is, guys, how many persons do these people actually give medical, advice to?
No, but I think she's teaching or something like that. So, but she was caught a couple of years ago.
That's her name, Nanda Kasoon. And there you have that photo that we just pulled up of her there. Guys, if you could just pull it back up, we're going to just remind you of where this photo was actually taken. There it is. That photo was actually of Nanda Kasoon being escorted by police ranks in 2016. What happened? How this lady slipped through the door?
How she come back? Really. And what is this? So where did she get her credentials from? Does IFLOC University have a medical school?
It's a shade to me. I don't know what's going on, but it's crazy. But the medical council has issued a stern warning there. The Guyana Medical Council has issued a warning about an imposter in his fraternity and appeal to members of the public in an advertisement to be on high alert. Now, guys, listen to me. I think this is a little too soft. This is a little too soft when it comes to, I think this is a little soft when it comes to what is good. It said, according to the advertisement, which was published in this newspaper, they were taking this from Kaiser News, guys. The medical council said Miss Kavita Singh, also known as Nanda Gopal, has been posing as a medical doctor when she is not. The council said that the woman has never sought an application at the council to practice in the field of medicine. It said using what is it?
The foregoing synonyms.
As well as Gita Kisoon. Wait, stop, guys. Oh God, this is gonna stress me out today. Joanna Gray, Joan Singh, Joanne Craig.
One depending.
Craig, or
the woman is said to have a history of scamming countless persons desirous of joining the medical field.
Posing as Kisoon the first time she was apprehended. Now, this is my memory good. So I wanted to know if I was losing it a little bit there just now, because I told you Nanda Kisoon, right?
Yes.
So posing as Kisoon, the first time she was apprehended back in the year 2009, when she opened a fraudulent school named the Inter-American Nursing School. I told you people, now when you hear nice name, it's starting rings in. These people are accredited, right? Collecting your money. The Inter-American Nursing School, which was located at Lot 5 Cummins Street, Georgetown. She had scammed numerous aspiring medical students out of thousands of dollars with the promise of them being accepted into the Ministry of Health and even getting the opportunity to travel abroad to advance their medical training in the US, where she claimed her medical school was legally recognized. Oh my goodness, this is as crazy as it gets, guys. But we have to say that I lost count of the amount of names this woman is going by.
Listen.
All
I am saying
Gray
is that these types of things will happen because, frankly, we have a president that has a certificate from a university of IFLOC. This is not something that we made up. This is something that actually is out there. I have never heard of the University of IFLOC. I do not know what the alma mater is. If there are any other alumni from the University of IFLOC, they should stand and validate their school. So when you have that at the head, I mean, what will happen to the rest of the body?
The University of West Indies needs to come clean with what was the grounds in which they did an admission for a doctoral.
Education, no, but it's education month, Joretta, and these things matter.
It is education month because there we have it. You know, the problem is, and I can get heated with this bit because the problem is that we are here celebrating young people doing extremely well. 24 grade ones, 3 grade, 27. So we're celebrating these young people for putting in the hard work. And then you have people that don't put in the hard work that comes and cheat their way to the top. That's a problem. That's a big problem for
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mash my corn and everything that goes with it.
Yeah, because, you know, it really does.
Yep. As we move forward, guys, we have to move forward. You know, it says Guyana condemns harassment of fisherfolk by Suriname. This is Amanda's friend, you know.
All we can say is that we told Hugh so. We told him. The former President Granger warned him.
It says calls on Paramaribo to honor a license commitment. You remember this. Guys, I'm going to allow Mansa to remind you, refresh your memory on this a bit, because you would remember when back when the president there of Suriname visited Guyana, and a lot of commitments were made and nice headlines and all of those things, handshakes. And so it was you, Mansa, that warned. Again, I'm going to let Mansa take it from here. But it's because
it is we who warn. You see, it is we. Because it comes from us, it appears not to, you know, people are unable to filter it. And this is what we were talking about. You're allowing Suriname to license our fisher folk in the quarantine.
Yeah.
That has questions to do with your sovereignty. And we continue to warn that this government's very transactional approach to our foreign policy is what will get us right here. They continue to believe that photo ops and smiling are effective policies. So the Surinamese president came, they buddy-buddied, and here it is. In the walking out of the policy, you see that they really have not shifted from their position. Our fisher folk can't fish in peace. The licenses are still yet to be issued. What would have been a far better approach would have been for you to have a joint licensing regime at a minimum, not us ceding the right of our Guyanese fisher folk to earn a living, to be licensed by Suriname. It really was unimaginative, and now we're seeing the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Now we're paying the price, and you know, it is sad that as Guyanese, we have to continually, a wise man once said to me, you don't pick whip for beat yourself.
Yeah.
And we keep doing it because we keep politicizing everything instead of being able to make decisions in our national interests.
Yeah.
And so it is for the fisher folk to hold UTAD and this government accountable for them not being able to earn a livelihood. This is completely their fault.
But yeah, guys, I'm not going to comment on this particular matter there because I'm going to bring it back in the big issue when it comes to the fisher folk, because I definitely want to tie in what is going on there with what the mid-year report is actually speaking about fishing and all of those other parts. But before we just head there, let me just take a moment to talk about what went through, what happened there at Beirut there, with the storm that ripped through the Zell housing scheme. Wow, that was scary to look at.
Yes. Yes. Do we have a bit
of footage that we could pull up, guys? And we're going to show you what went on there.
Now, guys, that's a roof
on the
electrical wire.
Pole, with the wire in there. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. And guys, I know that the footage there, the footage that you'll see in a bit, is absolutely frightening, to say the very least. It's very frightening.
Oh,
I looked at this and I got chills.
Yes,
I don't want to even think about
and
that.
the people in Beirut were saying to us, that it was one of the scariest experiences that they have ever had. But really and truly, we are so blessed in Guyana.
We are.
There are some islands that go through this type of thing every year that the hurricane season hits, and so.
Wow. You saw the thing. She's flying in the air there. I was telling you, growing up, we learned that these things are referred to like circle wind.
Circle wind, circle breezy used to call it. A tornado.
It looks different there. It looks different there. But we have, and I think it was at Splashman is the last bit I saw of that, with the strength of the wind. It seems to get, guys, global warming. It's real. Climate change is very, very real, and we are seeing these things at larger magnitudes, and we have to be very concerned. So when it comes to the persons that are monitoring weather patterns and so forth in this country, we need to up our game. We need to make sure that we're at the point that we are monitoring things, that we can give persons warning as to how to secure this.
Absolutely.
Building codes need to be adhered to. Building codes needs to be revamped. We need to look at different things and how we're structuring ourselves, how we are passing building plans for persons going out there to build their homes. If we know that we are heading in a direction which we are when it comes to global warming and all of those things, we need to secure ourselves as a people, and we need to advise on the level of government how persons move forward.
So, Jay, they have to start investing in the technology that can predict these things and give people real-time warnings.
Yeah.
Granted, this is a squatting area. We need to see an education program on disaster preparedness. There are certain things that you must do. So like if this happens, you go and you take cover. Because there are stories in some of the islands where zinc sheets have flown off and have decapitated people.
Yes.
So you ask the average Guyanese, if a hurricane is to hit, what is the safety protocol? They can't tell you. You ask them, what is the protocol if there is an earthquake? They can't tell you because it is not something that we invest. And we're talking about education, in educating our population about, do we have a national emergency evacuation plan? Where are our muster points? If, God forbid, the Atlantic should overtop the sea, where are we going? These are fundamental questions, and this is why I keep saying that as Guyanese, some of the nonsense that you see happening in politics, we really don't have time for. Because if a natural disaster strikes, the only people that will survive is those who have the helicopters to run in.
That's not a lot.
And to fly out.
The
rest of Guyanese will have to stay here and die and watch their family die. And that is the reality.
Yeah. And one of the things that we did speak about when it comes to natural disasters and us having no emergency plan it was the traffic congestion there in Berbice with
From
that horse racing event. That was crazy. So that give an idea of if we were to have an emergency with people actually going out trying to escape. Can
you imagine when it's more about life and death and saving your family? Can you imagine? And this is what I keep saying, this government has to really stop jumping around with all the photo ops and get down to the serious task of nation building, because this thing is bigger than any one of us, and it will consume all of us unless we are able to address it. And I hope that the government moves speedily to bring some relief to those persons who might have lost their dwelling in that freak storm. We know that they have the capacity to respond quickly when they want to. So let's see how quickly.
That's the whole thing, when they want it.
Yes. Let's see how quickly they respond to the Beirut residents. I know they're giving away land and so on, and they're building poor homes. Let's see how quickly they move to assist these persons.
Yep. Guys, but as we move forward, we have to get to the big issue. And that's when I said I was going to bring my conversation to everything that was said when it comes to the fishing folk and that industry altogether. Ministry of Finance, they issued their mid-year report a couple of days late, but all right. A couple of days late. I was looking at the deadline there. I was combing their site to see if it was out there, but I didn't see it, but I've seen it now. So guys, the media report was basically saying we have failed you people, but we are going to we're gonna go back to the drawing board.
I love it.
And we're gonna get it right. We're gonna set new targets now. We're gonna adjust our targets that we told you in the February budget that we're gonna achieve. We're gonna adjust it now where we said we're gonna expand. Now we're gonna say we're gonna contract.
But Jay, why didn't they reach it? COVID? The supply chain? What happened?
I'd love for the trolls to come in and defend the PP right now.
Come, Lacho. Lacho can come in.
Tell me what happened.
Come listen.
What happened? What happened altogether there, guys? We have to look at it, and there you have the Ministry of Finance video report. If you can just pull up that bit of graphic for you guys once more, sugar, big industry, billions of dollars being pumped into that. Sugar. How much did sugar expand by? Nothing. Sugar contracted, not just contracted. Sugar contracted by 55.9%. This is a big conversation, and we need to continue to speak about this. And I did tell you guys I'm going to be speaking about sugar until the next election, leading up to the next election, and all of these things. I'm going to speak about sugar because the PPP went out there on their propaganda, propaganda campaign, and they said, with every bit of energy that they could have mustered up, that they're going to be making sugar great again. And they politicized every single thing concerning sugar and the people that are actually working in the industry. And they told them that the coalition didn't know that what they were doing, and they made a mess of sugar and all of those things. And what are they doing now? And I will read for you, because I like to give you it just like how they give it to us. I will read for you there what was stated in the 2022 budget. 2022 February budget debate in the National Assembly. Ashley saying so there for like 6 hours, between 5 to 6 hours to present this budget speech. When he spoke about sugar, he have to give a target. In the budget speech that he gives, he said, this is our target. At the end of 2022, this is what we expect to do. He said here that...
Read for them, Jay, read.
I'm reading his words, you can go back and fact check.
Read for them.
He said that this year, the sugar growing subsector is projected to grow by 11.8% as Guyana will begin to recover from the onslaught of the 2021 flood with the aim of producing almost 65 tons of sugar. Fact check. That was a political speech, right? Fact check. Mid-year report. Mid-year report, you are estimated that you're going to grow by over 11%. That's what you said. Mid-year report, you should grow by 5 at the very least.
You should grow.
Right?
You should have at least grown.
Mid-year report.
It's not funny, but...
Mind you, he was saying the onslaught of the 2021 flood. He's presenting this budget speech in February of 2022. with the knowledge of all that happened in 2021, right? This is not new knowledge, right? This is not something that came on.
Right.
This mid-year report, I'm going to read again directly from the report, said the sugar growing industry is estimated to have contracted by 55.9% when compared to the first half of 2021. The Guyana Sugar Corporation, Guyana, produced 13,089 tons. 13,089 tons. Mind you, that he had projected that they were aiming to produce almost 65,000 tons, right? So the mid-year report now said that they managed to scrape 89 tons more than 13,000, right? But this is where I had the issue. It goes on to say that this performance is attributed to the continued fallout from the 2021 flood. Give me a break.
So what does that say?
Give me a break.
What does that say, Jaretta?
Give me a break.
Is it that they lack the ability
erratic weather conditions.
So it's the weather. Blame it on the rain.
Mechanical issues.
Full Milli Vanilli. Blame it on the rain.
Mechanical issues and labor challenges faced by producing it. Labor challenges. The people didn't say they went back into office and hire back all these people.
Hire back all the people.
This is what they said.
Yeah, but you know.
What's the labor challenge you're talking about now?
I couldn't tell you.
But isn't it that guy who that said the problem that they have in that is that people need to be paid more?
So then what should the teachers and the nurses say? You know, listen, Jaretta, we are bordering on the ludicrous. This is ridiculous. It calls into question Ashley Singh's ability to properly forecast. Because as you said, nothing has changed. We had erratic weather last year. We had all of these issues.
His budget wasn't in 2021. He didn't stand in the National Assembly in 2021 and give that budget speech.
Right.
He stood in February of 2022, knowing everything that happened in 2021, knowing what changes and adjustment that he needed to make in 2022 in order to set the projections that he set. And I have a problem with what he's speaking about. So guys, listen to me. Particularly what I want to mention right about now, and this is when you need the speeches. You know, I want a speech. I want this media report to be a speech. That you stand up and give, just like you stand up and give the nice 5-6 hour speech. Stand up and give this speech, because in the speech you said, and don't guys, I'm beating at sugar because I have to, because they lied blatantly to everyone that is in the sugar sector. They lied to everyone that they believed in them, right? They said and they projected that it will grow by 11.8%. This budget now, this report now, they are saying now, based on the performance in the first half of 2022, the industry is now expected to contract by 29.5% this year. They have moved from a position of standing in the National Assembly and giving a brilliant speech that they're going to expand by 11.8%. No, and they're tucking it in here nicely and silently, that they have looked over now, they have revamped that and they've recalled that, and they're saying now we're going to contract by 29.5%, and it must not go without beating that.
We will. This is why we do what we do, and you know, a lot of people talk. Well, y'all sitting down talking. This is why this is absolutely important, so that our people understand exactly what is happening with the economy and not be distracted by fancy photos and photo ops and who dancing on stage and singing. It is simply a distraction from the reality of what is happening. And as Jaretta will tell you, the contraction of the non-oil sector is an important red flag, because it means that as a country, you are in the throes of what is called the Dutch disease.
Yeah. But let's move on. Let's move on to rice, guys, because we can beat at these things for hours. Let's move on to what's going on with rice. And as you see there in the graphic there that we're pulling back up, guys, what is going on? Rice contracted by 22.4%. This is rice. And I know Zulfikar Mustafa has been going around the country and he's been championing that they have different varieties that they're working on, perfect the varieties that we already have, because clearly that is not being done. And again, I'm going to go back to the budget speech because I have to give it to you exactly like this. The budget speech in February of this year, the Minister of Finance stood up at the National Assembly, he beat his chest and he blew up and he said the rice growing subsector is forecasted to expand by 25.1% in 2022. He said that they were going to expand in 2022 by 25.1%. Now, in this mid-year report, guys, it's crazy. It is estimated that the rice industry contracted by 22.4% in the first half.
So it has gone in the opposite direction.
In the complete opposite direction. I don't know if you weren't seeing the directions properly or whatever. It is crazy. And again, this reflects the continued impact of the 2021 flood being felt.
You
didn't know in February that 2021 had a flood? When you were making these projections?
But Joretta, this continues to be the modus operandi of this government. I heard a few days ago, Barrett Jagdeo trying to place the debacle that was the Skeleton Sugar Factory at the feet of Booker Tate. Oh, wow. It is never their fault.
Never.
It is never their fault. All of the conditions that they are blaming them, and we got to keep saying this to our people, all of the conditions that they are blaming for the regression existed at the time they made their projection.
Good, and we must allow it to go unnoticed. We must allow them to get away with this because it's two things. It's either or. It's either that they lack the capacity and the ability to do proper forecasts, or that they blatantly go out there and lie to have good headlines when they're announcing budget speeches.
I think it's both.
Right?
I think it's both. I think it's both. And then you know what? They come and they placate the people of Guyana with, oh, it will take time, it will do this, it will do that. Then be honest with the people of Guyana from up front. But you know what? We as a nation collectively cannot demand accountability and honesty from this government because they have a sector of people that benefit from this type of behavior. And so, they don't intend to hold this government to account. This thing is serious. And we stood in the National Assembly and we warned
that's
the people of Guyana that we were heading down a particular path. And I don't know what it will take for the people of Guyana to begin to heed these warnings. This is not us crying wolf. This is us saying to you that these things are going to happen. And as we say it, we see it happening in real time. Now, not only rice has contracted, but the fishing industry.
But guys, as we move forward, and we're going to keep pulling the graphic up there as we continue to go down with all of the failures of the administration as being reported there. Fishing, and this is why I said I wasn't going to comment on what was going on there with Todd and all that, because Todd is in a different world when it comes to what is going on and the severity that the fisher folk is facing right about now. That's all that's going on, the dredging in the river, how it's affecting the Exxon's operation, how that is affecting them. We had persons come and but spoke to the press and assure them that there's absolutely no evidence that what's going on out there is actually affecting the fisher folk. That the operations out there is affecting them and all of that. But what is going on with the fishing industry now? Here you have it. The fishing industry has contracted by 19%. 19%. This is not a play, guys. These things are not. We're not playing. This is actually what is happening right now, and we have to continue to speak about it as I pull up my notation.
What did Ashley say?
I'm going to go
in
right.
The budget? What did Ashley say in the budget? But as you're pulling that up, I see Zulfi says that when it comes to the grant, he believes in maximum verification.
Well, we spoke about the grant before.
Maybe Zulfi should be the chair of GCOM. Since he believes in maximum verification to get these fisher folk the grant.
Good.
But what is he saying in the budget?
In the budget speech, I don't know if Ashley consulted with himself before he came out here and didn't consult with Zulfikar Mustafa on these projections, because it's very crazy what we're seeing right here. It says the fishing subsector actually is projected to grow projected to grow by 5.8%. 5.8%. That's what they projected that the growth of the fishing industry would be. It has been reported now in the mid-year report by the same Ministry of Finance. It puts together the same lovely budget speech in February. It's been reported now that the fishing industry is estimated to have contracted by 19% in the first half year on account of lower marine production.
19%.
These people different.
19%.
These people different. These people different.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, no, but you see,
how do you go from estimating that this is not saying, Amanda, you have to get the severity of what we're saying. This is not saying that, oh, we're projecting a growth of 13%, but sadly we're reporting that we only grow by 3%. This is not that. This is
everything that you have. It has gone in the opposite direction. So you know what it says now to the people of Guyana, that if Ashney Singh stands up and he says X, you can expect the opposite. They have not even achieved growth and expansion. Everything has gone backwards. And this is why they don't like facts. This is why they like propaganda, because when you sit down and you assess what the real position is. Can you imagine St. Lucia? Tiny island of St. Lucia has been adjudged the best agricultural sector.
Yep.
In the Caribbean. But we are here talking about, our leaps and food security. It is window dressing. It is, and you know, Joretta, we must point out to the people of Guyana why, even though you have oil, it is important that you're non-oil. And when we talk about non-oil, we mean all of those other products outside of oil. Because the price of oil can dip tomorrow. War could happen and all kinds of things could happen.
Well, now reaching at the higher level to make sure that the price of oil don't
stabilize.
So we can talk about that tomorrow. But guys, we have to move forward. We have to move forward.
Yes.
This morning, we know we've been keeping you overtime and all of that. But before we move forward, let us just wrap up on those two other sectors that we're looking at there on the graphic there. Let's just look at it. Gold contracted by 1.5%. I have a particular problem with this bit of well, not the number as it is, but I have a problem when I see this number, because this is crazy. Prior to 2015, and I just want to say this very quickly, prior to 2015, we saw very low declarations. And they said here, they said the gold mining industry declined by an estimated 1.5% in the first half of this year on account of lower declarations from the small and medium scale mines. I have a problem with that. I have a severe problem with them saying the small and medium scale miners, because I am telling you that my bit of information that I get unofficially says differently. It says different. From 2015 to 2020, declarations of gold skyrocketed.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get those digits to you. I'm going to make sure I bring you those numbers. From 2020 to 2015, the declarations skyrocketed.
If I recall, you gave those numbers in the National Assembly.
I give the numbers in the National Assembly in my budget, which I did, but I'm going to give it to you guys again. And you're going to understand where they're coming from. The people came back in the office and declaration starts to go down again. Whenever the people are in office, it suddenly becomes that anything goes and people just ride the system, because those are the top rises as well. And lastly there, we're going to be looking at the manufacturing sector there, guys, as you see it there. You know, they've been talking about manufacturing and that everything good is happening, you know. If you hear the PPP go out there on the platform, you would swear everything booming. You would swear it's a booming economy that these persons are talking about. Manufacturing down by 11.4%. Down by 11.4%. This is what it is, guys. Don't take it from me. Go read the report yourself there. You know, a large part of this particular part there is coming from the manufacturing sector. When we're talking about sugar, we talk about sugar at the manufacturing level. Also, we talk about sugar at the sugar growing subsector. Right. And when we're talking about the manufacturing aspect of it, remember your boy Remand Singh, when he was talking about bag versus packaged sugar, this is what we're talking about here. That part of it. Said that it's not what the people saying out there, that they ain't got shortage and so. But the Ministry of Finance report says the manufacturing sector, when it comes to sugar, it has the sugar sector is estimated to have declined. Hold on. Sugar, rice, and other manufacturing is estimated to have declined by 55.9% and 17.4%, right? The others declined by 4.5%. CSEC went out there and he said, that's not so, we got this thing here, the packages and so a little off, but we make sure that we have bags being up packaged. Don't know if bag is not the package. I don't know what's going on with CSEC, but it is a total mess. It is a disaster altogether when we're looking at the report. It is very irresponsible that I saw a lot of media houses trying to prop this up as though the growth, and they're looking at the growth that they're talking about it's been fetched by the oil sector significantly, but we have to look at these traditional sectors that has been put in the country. And I have to tell you, in closing off this discussion, I'm going to tell you that these numbers, what we're looking at right now, these are the things that the coalition depended on when it comes to revenue earners for the country between 2015 to 2020. We didn't have the oil, right? So these things had to be doing okay in order for us to take care of the people.
And so, Joretta, what you're saying is that the coalition did not have oil money. You're saying that the non-oil sector, the management of the non-oil sector, is what enabled us to give public servants their increase, improve healthcare, improve education, and all of these things. And so now you are seeing a decline of these sectors because the oil money is there and that is what is being used. The danger of that, as we keep saying, is that if oil prices drop, because you see the country, and then you don't control your non-oil, your oil GDP, you control, the only thing that you have some amount of control over is your non-oil sector. External factors, by and large, determine the performance of your oil sector. And so this is why we keep saying to our people, don't be fooled and be distracted by the pictures and the nice thing. The numbers are telling a particular story. And the story that it is telling is that the non-oil segment, the sector is in free fall, and it will result in the poor in Guyana getting poorer, and it will result in the rich getting richer, and that gap is going to increase. So this is the information, as we promised. It's FYI for your information. You have the information there. The report that Joretta referenced is up on the Ministry
of Finance
website. This report was not prepared by the AP and UAFC. I want to make that elusive. Lacho, this now we report. This is them by telling on themselves that, look, we promise you all this, but this is.
I just think we need a platform for it to be ready.
We went in the opposite direction.
But guys, as we wrap up, one of the things is we will be discussing as we continue to go through this report, because definitely it's not going to be 1, 2, or 3 days. We're going to continue to go through it, but we're going to go through the revenue aspect of it at a subsequent program. So make sure that you share the stream, make sure that you understand. For those of you who have the time, make sure you go on to those sites and read the report for yourself, understand what is going on, compare and contrast the budget speeches compared to what is actually happening and all of those things. But we have to say that we have taken up additional time from you this morning. We will be
able to bring this to you. This is super important, and we will continue to bring it, to break it down, so that the non-economists like myself, will be able to understand just exactly what is happening and to be able to hold this government accountable. We take no joy in this because it means that our people are suffering, and so we'll continue to monitor it. And we will continue to bring you valid and credible information. So before you leave, remember to share the live stream once more, to smash that emoji button, and to have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you back here at 12?
At 12 noon.
For Below the Belt. And I think we're going to delve in some more into these numbers and exactly what it means. So if you want more information on that, join us at 12 noon for Below the Belt. And of course, at 8 o'clock Ding, 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 ding.
In the
Let's
ring.
fight.
Have a good day, guys.
Have a good day, guys.
Be blessed.